to do with you. That's excruciating pain. That's the pain that...
How do you bring your attention inward? I know you have a course here, you have a lot of meditation, but how do you do that? You do that before you get yourself sort of a little bit together so you can recognize when you might not be, looking inside and looking outside with those stresses, angers, frustrations, and whatever else we might do. We prepare ourselves for our daily day.
Together enough to recognize it when it happens. But if you can get yourself together enough to recognize it after it happened and then go back and become more aware next time, that's very helpful. And by the way, Paul, I'm not suggesting that any of our listeners believe anything that I'm saying just because I say it and it's on a show, or that they believe anything that anybody writes just because it's written. But become the authority in your life. That's what creating authentic power is. Take what you resonate with, and if you feel it has meaning to you, experiment with it. Try it out. Try it on for size. And I love that. What I'm sharing is a way of looking at the world that's been very helpful to me, and so I offer this way of looking at the world to you also. And here's a part of that way of looking at the world. You are a powerful, creative, compassionate, and loving spirit. You are a powerful creator. And the pain in your life is a measure of the distance between that reality and the way you see yourself. So, as you become aware, you don't become a more powerful creator. That's not possible. You become a more aware creator. And the difference is that if you choose, you stop creating unconsciously and destructively. And you become able to choose consciously and constructively. When you do that, Paul, you move from hell to heaven. And you can do it right here on the earth. When you're experiencing gratitude, appreciation, joy, contentment, awe of the universe, you're experiencing the energy of your soul. And somatically, when you look and explore, you'll find that you're feeling blissful, wonderful physical sensations.
Gary, are you saying or suggesting to live instead of internally, externally? In other words, give things a try. Don't be afraid to give something a chance, a different you, not the, talking to yourself saying, no, I can't sing, no one's going to want to listen to me sing. Go out there and sing?
Yes, but look at your intention. Are you going out there to sing because you want to impress somebody, because you feel powerless, because you need people to appreciate you? Or are you going out to sing because you got a song and you want to share it? There's no second agendas to the song, and you're singing it like a bird. So intention is very important. And let me tie these together in a way that I hope will be helpful, because you ask about heaven and hell. There's a story about Hakuin, a Zen master, and a samurai who came to see him once because he knew that Hakuin was said to be wise. And he said to Hakuin, he knocked on the door of the monastery, and Hakuin, the abbot himself, opened it. And the abbot said, and Hakuin, the samurai said, he wanted to know about heaven and hell, and what's the difference, and what is this stuff? And Hakuin looked at him and said, oh, look at you. You call yourself a samurai? You haven't shaved in a week. Now, people didn't talk to samurai like that, because samurai had license to kill. And the samurai, startled, put his hand on the hilt of his sword. And Hakuin said, oh, you have a sword. It's probably rusty. This was too much. The samurai started to withdraw his sword. This was death. This was death coming to Hakuin quickly. And Hakuin said, here open the gates of hell. And the samurai stopped. And he registered something registered in him. And he said, ah. And he pushed the sword back into its hilt, back into the scabbard. And Hakuin said, here open the gates of heaven. God
Wow. Wow. That's a powerful message. You know, sometimes I guess we see things that are quite simple but have tremendous impact. One word, one gesture, a physical look, the way someone, you know, a woman looks at a guy looks at a woman. A lot happens just from our body movement. Do you see that? Do you find that?
Absolutely. Words are so important. Words carry consciousness. That's why it's important to choose them carefully. When I was in the Army, when I was a Green Beret, I didn't choose my words carefully. And they carried a consciousness that I don't want to send anymore. I don't want to be infused with anymore. It's intention. Intention creates. Your choice of intention is the most important choice you'll ever make, and you're making it continually. And you're making it, for the most part, if you're like I was, unconsciously. Creating authentic power requires you injecting consciousness into your life at the point of choice. That means when you're angry, when you're jealous, when you're resentful, superior, when you're craving sex, when you need a drink, and making a choice that will create consequences for which you're willing to assume responsibility. In other words, challenging fear. And also injecting consciousness into your life at the moment of choice, when you feel grateful, when you feel appreciative, and sharing, and patient, and noticing that, not thinking that's just a passing good feeling. That is a powerful part of your personality. That is a part of your personality that's aligned with your soul. And you make note of it. You feel it somatically. You notice its thoughts. And you cultivate it. That's creating authentic power too.
Real practical thinking here, Gary. Thank you. You know what? Oprah Winfrey says if there was just one book on this planet that I could recommend that you read, it would be this book, The Seat of the Soul, by you, Gary. It has been for me one, if not the most powerful book I've ever read, except for the Bible. God darn, that's a major. And Maya Angelou has similar kinds of wonderful words, and even Jay-Z. These are two books I absolutely live by in my life. There are only two, and you are one of them. So, what do you think with, you know, these kinds of celebrity status that really have tremendous followings and are what do you think helps them get their message out to the world? What do you see in them?
I see heart. I see heart. I see the intentions of the heart. I see people. Now, I don't know Jay-Z, but if he's that touched by the seat of the soul, he is a person of heart. And I know he owns a sports team, and I know that he's a rapper, and I know he's very famous, but that's about all I know about him. But the most important thing I know about him is that he has heart, because no one who doesn't resonate with themselves from a larger perspective and the world with a larger perspective can do that without heart. No one can approach their soul without wanting to contribute to life and beginning to. The intentions of the soul are harmony and cooperation and sharing and reverence for life. I do know Oprah a little bit, and I know that about her. And I feel that's why she's so fabulously well-known and successful in all that she touches. And she makes no secret of that. She writes about it, she talks about it, she broadcasts about it, she shares about it. She wants to give, and she does. I feel that this is what we all are. This is what we are at essence. But how do you become that way? How do you become joyful when you're angry? How do you love life when you're jealous? How can you give to life when all you want to do is exploit somebody financially or sexually or emotionally? You can't. So to create authentic power requires learning these parts of your personality experientially, challenging them so that you move beyond their control. They still occur in you, they're still painful, but they don't control you any longer. Do you know, if anyone listening to us feels touched, I would suggest you go to our website, to my website. It's called The Seat of the Soul. It's named after the book. S-E-A-T of the S-O-U-L. .com, like what you sit on. And you'll see how to get the book. You'll see our new programs called Life School. It's a live streaming video webinar with Linda and me once a month, and a lot of other things that we can do to support you. But we can't change you. I can't change you. For all the good that you add to the world, Paul, with your broadcast and your endeavors, I think you know that only I can change me and only you can change you. But we can support people. We can support one another on the journey. We can help each other recognize when we're creating destructively. Not in a judgmental way, help them realize it, but with love, help them realize it. Like Linda will say to me, my spiritual partner, sometimes if I say something and she senses energy that's angry or critical, she'll say, did that come from love? And if I get irritated or angry, then I know she's right.